Gag accuracy. It's one of the most arcane and complex aspects of this game's combat system. Now, you might think of accuracy as being the simple high, medium, and low quality that every gag has, but I'm here to tell you that's just barely scratching the surface. In fact, the equation for calculating the accuracy of your gags has as many as 5 factors. Base accuracy is one of them, and the game kind of tells you about it, but the other 4 completely hidden to the player. So that's what we'll be looking at today. We'll be figuring out how base accuracy, track mastery, cog evasion, combo accuracy, and the lore sound bonus fit into this monster of a formula and give us our accuracy. First off, we have base accuracy, and this is pretty straightforward. The game actually sort of hints to what base accuracies are like. Low accuracy describes anywhere from 50 to 70%, medium describes 70 to 85%, and high is exclusively 95%. Nothing has base 90, so we don't need to think about where it would go. There's also perfect accuracy, which Trap has, which can also be gained by luring cogs. This accuracy means that the gag will work every time you use it. It ignores all of the other factors most gags usually have to go through to check accuracy. Every gag track, besides lore, has the same accuracy between each gag, those being 70% for tune-up, perfect for trap, 95% for sound, 75% for throw, 95 again for squirt, and a dismal 50% for drop. Lore accuracies go from 50 to 60 to 70, with each getting a nifty plus 10% for being organic. As you can see though, lore gag accuracies aren't reflected very closely by what the game shows. All organic lore is medium, despite most being in the low range, and presentation can be categorized as low despite being as accurate as sound. These are the gag accuracies that Toontown Online and Rewritten have. If you play Clash, which changes many of the base accuracies, the game actually shows the true numeric accuracy of gags, rather than just a vague category. Regardless, if you want to see Clash's gag accuracies, they're all right here. Next up is Track Mastery, which is I'm sorry, can we... Thank God. This section is about improvement, so I mean, I thought I'd go with like workouty type music. I'll try to put something else on. Perfect. Yeah, that's much better. Anyway, as I was saying, Track Mastery is a level up boost to your gag track. Every time you get a new gag level, all gags in that track get 10% accuracy boosts permanently. To calculate this boost, simply take the level of your highest gag, subtract 1 from that, then multiply that number by 10. The -1 is because this boost doesn't apply until you get your first level up at level 2, and then from there at level 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? You get the idea. You can think of it like leveling up throw, squirt, or any other gag as a stat. The higher level gags themselves are what have the higher damage, but you, the tune, are what has better accuracy, as well as more gag slots and stuff like that. So here's a little example of Track Mastery in action. If you level up throw from Cupcake to Fruit Pie Slice, both gags get plus 10% accuracy. Going from that to Cream Pie Slice, now all of your throw gags get plus 20% accuracy. This makes even your weaker gags much more likely to hit. Something you may have realized at this point is that, wait, how do gags ever miss if they get such huge boosts early on? I cut off the throw example at level 3, but at level 4 it seems like throw should have 105% accuracy, right? And sound should go past 100% with just 1 level up. But of course, we've all seen sound miss before, or you know, maybe that's just me. The answer to all your questions, existential or otherwise, lies with... Cog Evasion is a stat every cog has, which just subtracts from your gag's accuracy. The equation for cog evasion is simply 5 times the quantity level minus 1, meaning you simply multiply the cog's level by 5, then subtract 5. This means that a level 12 cog caps out at 55 evasion, but remember, we get plus 60 accuracy for having a level 7 gag, meaning that even level 12s have less evasion than your gags will have. This next section will be about Clash evasion specifically. I would tell you how much evasion Rewritten cogs past level 12 have, but that information is, by design, completely off limits. Clash cogs, which can go up to level 50, have their evasions cap out at level 14, with a value of 65. Additionally though, there are some different cog subtypes which affect their evasion stats. Defense and attack specialists have evasions equal to 1 level higher or lower, respectively. Executives get +5 evasion overall, meaning that the evasion for regular cogs maxes out with a 14 EXC at 70 evasion. And finally, managers have evasion stats that aren't set by a formula. Scapegoat has 75 evasion, giving even max gags a -5% accuracy penalty, but Pacesetter has 65 evasion, granting gags a +5 bonus. If you want to know what a particular boss's evasion is, you'll have to check their wiki page. Alright, welcome back if you skipped that last section. Now seems like a good time to mention some weird edge cases when it comes to cog evasion. Namely, we're going to be looking at how the all or nothing system works with these accuracy mechanics we've described so far. As you may know, Toontown uses an all or nothing system for its attacks. That is, if multiple of the same type of gag are being used, they either all hit or all miss, all using one accuracy roll to see whether that track gets a hit for that turn. This only isn't true of Corporate Clash's drop gags, which hit individually. So the big thing to remember about that system is that when it comes to target all gags like sound and lore, their accuracies take into account only the highest evasion stat among cogs currently in the fight. You can think of it like a brick wall. You can't hit what's on the other side of that wall until you get through the door. So the bouncer for this door will always be the highest level cog. If your lore gag can hit the bouncer, you can get through and hit everything. If you can't hit the bouncer, then you can't get inside, and that's a miss. Finally, we can look at the most complicated mechanic, stun. You can think of stun like combo accuracy as a counterpart to combo damage, where using 2 of the same gag on the same cog grants all of the gags a 20% boosted damage, using 2 different gags on the same cog grants the same boost but to accuracy. The only difference is that combo damage affects all of the gags in the combo, whereas combo accuracy only affects whichever gag comes second. So gag order really matters for stun. Stuns can also stack for up to 3 boosts onto 1 gag. When this happens, the stuns will start snowballing. To show you what I mean, let's look at this example, where a cog is hit by a trap, a lure, a throw, and then a drop. The trap has perfect accuracy, and since it goes first, it doesn't receive a stun. The lure receives 1 stun from the trap, getting +20%. The throw gets a stun from the lure, but also from the trap as well, receiving +40%. Finally, the drop gets a stun from all 3 preceding gags, getting a massive +60% from stun. As you can see, stuns can provide huge boosts just by using regular gags in a different way. It's one of the most fun systems to play with, in my opinion, as it can create room for hugely synergistic strategies. Like, you could use Trap to stun a lure, which grants perfect accuracy to 2 throw gags. You could use Squirt to zap 2 cogs, then stun for a drop on the 3rd. The possibilities are endless. Finally, we have a bit of a simple one here, the lore sound bonus. This part is not in Clash. Basically, all this is a boost to sound gags as well as your level 7 throw and squirt gags that takes effect when some but not all of the cogs are lured. The boost depends on how many total cogs are in the fight. In a fight of 4, every lured cog grants a 25% boost. For a fight of 3, each is worth 33%. And for a 2 cog fight, one of those cogs being lured boosts by 50%. Now, you're probably not going to use this boost because it literally requires you to use sound on lured cogs, but it's in the game, so you can use it if you want to. And that's it. This equation, this 5-part monster, is actually pretty simple when you break it down. It's the base accuracy plus your track mastery, subtract the evasion, and add in any stuns you may have. Now, there is one more thing to note. After you've done all your math, you do have to keep in mind the unfortunate accuracy cap this game has. In TTO and in Rewritten, that cap is just a flat 95%. So no matter how high your accuracy gets, it'll still have a 5% chance to miss, like a 1 in 20 critical fail. In Clash, the cap works a bit differently than that. So there's a soft cap of 95 or 96 for drop. Anything above that cap is divided by 10, then added back into the accuracy, capping at 99%. So if your throw is at level 8, it gets plus 70% to its base 75. That would be 145, but subtract 95 to get the overhang, 50, and simply divide that by 10. Now add back that 5 to get 100, which also gets lowered down to the true hard cap of 99. You can mostly ignore the difference past the soft cap since it only contributes up to like, what, 4% more accuracy? But just remember that every little accuracy boost does do something. But because of these caps, no matter how high level your gags get, there will always be a chance for something like this to happen. Thank you so much for watching the video, and for sticking around to the end. If you like what you saw, or if I actually managed to teach you something, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions about gag accuracy or anything else Toontown, I'll be happy to answer them. Anyway, that's all for me. But Toons of the World, remember, try to stay on target.